5:17 local time, Persian Gulf. The radar tone changes. Inside the Combat Information Center, the steady rhythm of tracking surface traffic sharpens instantly. A fast, narrow return appears at low altitude and high speed. New contact, bearing 087. Then another tone, then one more. In less than 3 seconds, the tactical display fills with 3 confirmed tracks racing just above the sea. The watch supervisor reacts without hesitation. Inbound threats. No one asks where they came from. The data already says enough. Range, 42 nautical miles. Speed, high subsonic. Flight profile, sea skimming. On the carrier's flight deck, deck crews stop mid-step as the 1MC crackles overhead. General quarters, general quarters. All hands, man your battle stations. In under 10 seconds, the carrier shifts from routine patrol to full combat posture. Condition 3 becomes Condition 1. Across the strike group, the change is immediate. An Aegis cruiser 5 miles off the carrier's port quarter locks the contacts with Spy 1 radar. The destroyer on the starboard screen pushes its combat system to full auto-engage readiness. Data links open at maximum bandwidth. Every ship now sees the same picture. 3 inbound becomes 5, then 7. The electronic warfare officer calls it out. Coastal fire control radar spike detected. Bearing 110, intermittent sweep. No speculation, no wasted words. The tracks tighten their formation. Altitude under 15 feet above sea level. They are built to stay below the radar horizon for as long as possible. Above the carrier, an E-2D Hawkeye widens its orbit. Its radar dome cuts through the morning sky, feeding a composite picture to every ship below. From 25,000 feet, it sees what sea level sensors cannot. The Hawkeye operator counts them carefully. Multiple fast movers confirmed. 12 total contacts. 12. This is no test, no warning shot. This is a saturation attempt. On the carrier's bridge, the captain stands still, eyes fixed on the repeater display. His voice stays calm. Engage outer layer. Do not wait for terminal phase. Below deck, missile crews unlock safety interlocks on the vertical launch system. Hydraulic pressure rises. Cell hatches go live. Then a different tone slices through CIC. Higher frequency. Different trajectory. A new track rises sharply from the coastline, climbing fast in a steep arc. Ballistic profile detected. High altitude ascent. For half a second, the room goes completely still. A cruise missile engagement is serious. A ballistic launch changes everything. The tactical display redraws itself. The ballistic track climbs beyond 100,000 feet before curving toward the strike group's center. Impact prediction, carrier strike, group center mass. Time to terminal phase, under 2 minutes. Meanwhile, the first cruise missiles drop below radar coverage, hugging the water so tightly that spray kicks up beneath their fuselages. Thin white scars stretch across the Gulf behind them. Range, 28 nautical miles. The cruiser's Aegis computer assigns interceptors automatically. Firing solutions resolve in milliseconds. The carrier holds course. No evasive turn, speed steady, panic wastes time. Discipline saves it. Time to first intercept, the tactical action officer says, clipped and precise. 68 seconds. On the destroyer's forward deck, VLS hatches snap open one after another. Steel plates fold back into the dawn light. The missiles inside are already awake. In CIC, the countdown keeps dropping. 50 seconds. The inbound track separates slightly, programmed to complicate targeting. One missile drops even lower, nearly disappearing into sea clutter. 38 seconds. The ballistic track reaches apogee. Across the strike group, radar arrays tighten their lock. Electronic countermeasures pulse outward, trying to bend, blur, and confuse guidance signals. 25 seconds. The order comes. Fire. The first SM-6 erupts from its cell in a column of flame, climbing hard before snapping toward its assigned target. A second follows a heartbeat later. Then a third. From the carrier's deck, sailors watch white contrails carve across the sky in sharp lines. Inside CIC, no one celebrates. No one talks beyond what must be said. The missiles are still coming. The ballistic track begins its descent. Time to impact shrinks. And for the next 60 seconds, the entire strike group waits to see whose calculations were better. The first intercept happens beyond the horizon. On the SPY-1 display, track 441 blinks once, then disappears. Splash 1. No emotion, just confirmation. 40 nautical miles out, the SM-6 meets the lead cruise missile at a combined closure speed above Mach 5. The detonation cannot be seen from the carrier, but fragments rain into the Gulf in a widening arc. 2 seconds later, another track vanishes. Splash 2. The Aegis system does not pause. It reallocates, recalculates, assigns the next wave, but the incoming formation breaks apart. 4 missiles hold their vector toward the carrier's bow. 3 turn hard to starboard, driving toward the outer destroyer screen. 2 drop even lower, slipping into the radar shadow created by sea curvature and surface clutter. This was planned. High above, the ballistic track descends at terminal velocity. Ballistic re-entry confirmed, the cruiser reports. SM-3 solution ready. At the edge of the formation, a separate launch cell opens. The SM-3 leaves the rail in a clean, steep climb, disappearing quickly into the thinning blue above. Below, the cruise missiles close to 22 nautical miles. Inside the carrier's CIC, the tactical action officer leans over the console. Recommend Ripple ESSM. Engage low flyers from the port destroyer. Evolved Sea Sparrow missiles launch in pairs. Smaller, faster off the rail, built for exactly this layer of the fight. At 15 nautical miles, one cruise missile makes a last-second maneuver. Its guidance system hunts for a new path. It does not help. An ESSM meets it mid-adjustment. A brief orange bloom flashes on the horizon. Splash 3. Another sea skimmer drops even lower, almost touching the surface. A narrow white wake trails behind it. Range, 12 nautical miles. The outer defensive ring has thinned the salvo, but the engagement is not over. One missile makes it through the ESSM layer. Range, 9 nautical miles. Inside CIC, voices become tighter, not louder, sharper. Track 452 still inbound. Speed steady, altitude minimal. On the carrier's island, the forward phalanx close-in weapon system rotates toward bearing 089. Its radar locks automatically. At 5 nautical miles, the missile rises slightly to clear a small swell. That rise is enough. CIWS free. The phalanx opens up. The sound is not a series of shots, but one continuous mechanical roar. 75 rounds per second form a dense wall of tungsten between the ship and the threat. The inbound weapon shudders under impact. Its guidance fails. It breaks apart less than 2 miles from the hull. Fragments strike the water in a violent spray. Threat neutralized. Still no cheers. 2 tracks remain. One angles toward the starboard destroyer. Another shifts unexpectedly toward the cruiser, the ship carrying ballistic coverage. Range, 7 nautical miles. The destroyer launches another ESSM pair. The first misses by inches as the cruise missile weaves. The second connects. Splash 4. The final cruise missile is now inside 4 nautical miles of the cruiser. Its radar seeker comes fully alive. In CIC, the electronic warfare officer sends a focused, jamming burst. Deception signals flood the missile's receiver, presenting false targets. Ghost ships offset from the real hull. For half a second, the inbound track hesitates on screen. Then it corrects. Too late. The cruiser's aft phalanx fires. The stream of rounds reaches the missile less than 1.2 nautical miles from the ship. This explosion is visible from the carrier's deck. Low, violent, close. Splash 5. Silence follows. Brief, fragile. Then the ballistic intercept report comes in. Exo-atmospheric intercept successful. High above visual range, the SM-3 has collided with the descending ballistic threat. It never reaches terminal guidance. On the shared tactical display, every inbound track is gone. But the calm lasts only seconds. A sensor operator leans forward. New launch detected. Bearing 110. Multiple. The coastline flares again with thermal signatures. This was not a single volley. It is a sustained strike. And the next wave is already airborne. The radar picture does not clear. It multiplies. Bearing 110 brightens again as fresh contacts lift off from the Iranian coastline. Smaller returns this time. Slower. Dozens of them. Drone swarm detected. Multiple low RCS targets. At the same moment, surface search radar picks up 3 fast attack craft accelerating out of a coastal inlet. Speed, 35 knots and rising. Heading, direct intercept. This is no longer a single-axis missile engagement. This is layered pressure. Air and surface saturation at once. Inside the carrier's CIC, the tactical display splits into sectors. Air defense officers take the drones. Surface warfare tracks the fast boats. Electronic warfare scans for command uplinks. Above the strike group, 2 FA-18 Super Hornets punch through 10,000 feet, shifting from defensive posture to offensive screen. Harpoons hang beneath their wings. Behind them, EA-18G Growlers activate jamming pods. The spectrum fills with noise. The first wave of drones drops below 200 feet. They are not fast, but they are many. Small delta wing shapes riding GPS coordinates. The cruiser fires another pair of ESSMs. 2 drones disappear. 10 remain. The destroyer switches to rolling airframe missiles. 3 more drones detonate mid-air. Still they come. Then, in the middle of the swarm, one radar return flickers strangely and disappears. Not from intercept, not from impact. It simply collapses. Track 671 lost, a sensor operator says. No explosion signature. Another drone wobbles on screen. Its course bends away. It starts a shallow spiral toward the sea. Then a third does the same. Inside CIC, the electronic warfare officer leans closer to the console. We're not hitting those. He checks the spectrum analyzer. Their command link just dropped. On the coastline, radar emissions spike and then fluctuate. Signal strength dips without warning. The Growlers widen the jamming pattern. A classified electronic warfare package aboard the cruiser comes online. Low power, directional, precise. The next drone's guidance signal flickers. Its telemetry collapses in mid-flight. It hits the water without a detonation. Across the radar screen, 3 more drones drift off course as if suddenly blind. Loss of guidance confirmed, the officer says quietly. No impact, no fireball. Just silence where there should have been an explosion. The fast attack craft close to 18 nautical miles. The Hornets angle downward and lock them visually. Laser designation paints the bow of the lead vessel. The boats continue forward, but their radar sweep weakens. On the carrier, technicians confirm something few expected to see so clearly. The electronic countermeasure is not simply jamming signals. It is severing the data handshake between coastal radar, drone uplink, and missile mid-course correction. Guidance systems are going dark in flight. Inside CIC, one final cruise missile from the second wave survives the outer intercept attempts. Range, 14 nautical miles. It descends aggressively, then hesitates. Its radar seeker sweeps wide. Then nothing. The track freezes for half a second before nosing straight into the Gulf. No intercept flash, no debris plume, just splash. The electronic warfare officer exhales once. Guidance collapse confirmed. For the first time since 5/17, the inbound threat count is dropping faster than interceptors are being launched. Not because every projectile was physically struck, because the projectiles are losing their eyes. Along the Iranian coastline, radar signatures flicker erratically. Fire control locks blink on and off. Inside the carrier's CIC, analysts watch it happen in real time. The system was never meant to be revealed this openly. It was designed for contingency, for final layer defense. Yet here it is. Missiles and drones are failing in flight, not from impact, but from electronic isolation. The Hornets close to 12 nautical miles from the fast attack craft. The lead vessel slows, its wake shortens. On radar, its targeting beam falters. Another drone drops into the sea before terminal phase. Inside CIC, a new phrase starts moving quietly from console to console. Network disruption effect expanding. The ballistic arc from the second launch attempt never stabilizes. Its guidance system struggles to reacquire mid-course updates. Then its track fractures on the display. High above the Gulf, the warhead tumbles off trajectory and splashes far wide of the carrier group. For a moment, the entire battle space goes still. No inbound locks, no radar spikes, no drone vectors, only the distant growl of jet engines overhead and the low hum of cooling missile cells. The Iranian fast attack craft are now 50 nautical miles away. And slowing. They have not been engaged yet. But something far more unsettling has happened. Their weapons did not fail. Their network did. And the strike group is still fully intact. Inside CIC, the captain finally speaks. Maintain posture. Do not pursue. Because the unthinkable has already happened. The assault did not break on steel, it broke on silence. The sky belongs to the strike group now. At 15 nautical miles, the Iranian fast attack craft begin to spread laterally. A classic swarm tactic meant to force multiple targeting decisions and complicate firing solutions. The Hornets are already ahead of them. Surface contacts locked, Viper 1 reports. Laser designation active. No warning shot, no dramatic exchange, just geometry. At 12 nautical miles, the lead FA-18 releases a single AGM-84 harpoon. The missile drops clean, ignites, and levels just above the waterline. Sea skimming. Quiet until terminal. The Iranian boat attempts a hard turn to starboard. Too late. The harpoon impacts just aft of the bridge. Flash, plume, immediate loss of propulsion. Dead in the water. Disabled. The second fast attack craft slows sharply. It is no longer charging. It is calculating. Above them, the Growlers widen the electronic umbrella. Iranian surface search radar flickers again, struggling to hold a coherent track on the American aircraft. Back in the carrier's CIC, the drone picture thins even more. Remaining UAVs drifting, an operator confirms. Multiple uncontrolled descents. One drone attempts to reacquire navigation and banks sharply toward the carrier's outer screen. The destroyer does not fire. The Growler shifts frequency. The drone's telemetry drops. It spirals down and impacts harmlessly half a mile short of the formation. The last operational cruise missile launcher on the coastline attempts one final emission spike. Brief. Sudden. Aegis flags it instantly. Before a missile even leaves the rail, a Tomahawk target solution is generated aboard the cruiser. The captain does not authorize it. Not yet, because the mission was defense, and defense has already held. Then one last surprise appears. High-altitude track, bearing 105, possible ballistic reattempt. The contact climbs steep and fast. A final try. Inside CIC, there is no hesitation now. SM-3 ready. The interceptor launches in a clean vertical plume, climbing out of the atmosphere guided by shipboard radar and overhead sensors. At exo-atmospheric altitude, it meets the incoming warhead in a kinetic collision. No explosive charge, just physics. From the Gulf below, the flash is faint, barely visible in the early light. Intercept confirmed. That is the second ballistic intercept of the morning. The Iranian radar network along the coastline dims again. Emissions fall near zero. Surface contacts retreat toward territorial waters. In the cockpit of Viper 1, the lead pilot watches the disabled patrol boat list slightly, trailing smoke. Second vessel turning cold, he reports. No pursuit order follows. The Hornets hold position at 20,000 feet, orbiting, visible, steady, dominant. On the carrier deck, the mood shifts from crisis to calculation. Ordnance crews reload rails. Fuel lines remain connected. Flight operations do not stand down, because dominance is not declared. It is maintained. The Growlers reduce jamming power step by step, watching for any renewed signal spike. Nothing. On radar, the Iranian coastline is quiet. Too quiet. Inside CIC, the tactical picture is clear. No inbound threats, no active fire control locks, no drone telemetry. The strike group remains intact. Zero hull damage, zero casualties. The captain studies the display one last time before giving the order. Resume transit. Maintain elevated posture. The carrier never changed course. It never turned away. And now it continues through the Gulf as though nothing happened. Behind it, the disabled fast attack craft drift under tow from smaller Iranian vessels, moving in to recover them. No American ship enters coastal waters. No retaliatory barrage follows. But the message is unmistakable. Every missile was defeated. Every drone lost its eyes. Every radar link collapsed. And the carrier never flinched. Above the formation, 2 additional Hornets replace the first pair, keeping continuous coverage overhead. The E-2D Hawkeye remains on station. Destroyers tighten spacing, reinforcing the defensive ring without breaking formation. Discipline replaces adrenaline. Procedure replaces urgency. Inside CIC, a young operations specialist watches the replay feed, staring at the exact moment the drone tracks simply vanished. He says nothing. He does not need to. Everyone in the room understands what they just witnessed. Missiles can be intercepted. Fast boats can be disabled. But what happened this morning was something else entirely. It was not just layered defense. It was systemic denial. The strike group did not merely survive a saturation assault. It dismantled the architecture behind it. And that is far more unsettling than a damaged hull. As the sun rises higher over the Persian Gulf, the carrier continues on its plotted course. Unscarred, unturned, unshaken. The Iranian coastline fades into haze. No more radar spikes, no more launch signatures, only open water and silence. By 6:42 local time, the Gulf looks calm again. No contrails, no flashing warnings, no smoke on the horizon, but nothing about the last 90 minutes was routine. Inside the Combat Information Center, the tactical display is clean. Every inbound track archived, every radar emission logged, every failed guidance signal timestamped to the millisecond. The strike group remains at full readiness, not because another launch is expected, because readiness itself is the message. On the flight deck, Super Hornets cycle through refuel and rearm. Growlers power down jamming pods but remain on alert. The E-2D Hawkeye rotates out, replaced seamlessly by another early warning aircraft. No celebration, no speeches, just a professional reset. The captain stands on the bridge, watching the formation hold its spacing. Destroyers on the edges, cruisers slightly offset for ballistic coverage, subsurface assets unseen but present. He gives one instruction: hold posture, no pursuit. The Iranian fast attack craft are now well inside territorial waters. One drifts under tow, the others have shut down radar completely. They are no longer advancing, they are watching, and that is enough. Because what happened this morning was not luck, it was controlled power. Iran launched first. 12 cruise missiles, 2 ballistic attempts, a coordinated drone swarm, and surface attack craft pushing for close contact. They attempted saturation. The carrier strike group answered with discipline. Outer layer intercepts, mid-layer defense, terminal phalanx engagements, air dominance overhead, electronic warfare at scale. But the decisive moment was not physical, it was digital. Missiles lost guidance in mid-flight, drones spiraled down without impact. Coastal fire control radar buckled under pressure it could not answer. The true surprise was not a damaged carrier. It was a strike group that neutralized the attack architecture without expanding the fight into open war. No cruise missiles struck land. No retaliatory barrage tore across the coastline. No dramatic headlines announced a new campaign. The carrier did not need to escalate. It demonstrated. Inside CIC, analysts replay the engagement again and again. They study the moment the inbound cruise missile hesitated, seeker sweeping wide before dropping blind into the Gulf. They review ballistic intercept telemetry. They map the spread pattern of the network disruption. Every second becomes data, and data becomes deterrence. Across the Gulf, Iranian radar remains silent, not destroyed, just cautious. Because now they know something they did not know before. Their missiles can be tracked, their drones can be blinded, their networks can be broken, and the carrier remains standing. The strike group continues transit at a steady speed. No deviation, no symbolic turn, just forward motion. The message is subtle but impossible to miss. We will not escalate recklessly, but we will not be touched. In Washington, there may be no dramatic announcement. In Tehran, there will almost certainly be internal reviews. In the Gulf, shipping lanes reopen beneath the same steel umbrella that held firm at 517. Above the carrier, a fresh pair of Hornets orbit in quiet arcs. Beneath the surface, submarines reposition without a sound. Destroyers continue scanning the horizon without pause. Nothing looks different. Everything is different. Because a threshold was tested. And it failed. Iran fired first. The carrier never flinched, the strike group never broke formation, and the most startling part was not destruction. It was dominance without a second shot. The Gulf remains tense. It always does. But this morning drew a line that did not need smoke or flame to be understood. Next time, they may launch again. Next time, they may change tactics. The only question is whether they will understand what is happening before their screens go dark again. Out here, steel matters, training matters, but control matters more. And this morning, control won.